Yo, still bills, what's the this is, man? Yo, I ain't got to get out and let my, talk to the peoples and nothing like that, man. So I'm coming to y'all in this hot ass car. And we finna go and I'll have a conversation while I'm on this, making these runs, man. But peep game, man, we gotta, man, first off, man, I wanna talk about this, man. Edgar Berlanga. I'm gonna be the dude to say I see the visual. I honestly do. I see the visual of what it is that they're trying to turn him into. I can legitimately say I see the visual, the idea of where they're trying to take it, man. Every time they put him in front of an opponent that presents him with a certain level of resistance, he hasn't looked as stellar as he once did when he was knocking everybody out in the first round. So I see what it is that they're trying to do, man. I see them trying to implement fundamentals into his game plan. I see them trying to work on keeping his hands up instead of that Philly shell, keeping his hands up in the high guard, the peekaboo, and, moving his head and using his feet. I'm honestly not mad at it. I love it. I love it. And I think with that, it's going to take a couple of fights for him to really grasp the concept of that. Because he's going completely in the opposite direction of his fighting identity of just being a destructive puncher. You know what I'm saying? He's going completely against that grain. And I think that's to his it can go both ways. It could be bad for it. It could be good for it. It could be beneficial to him as a boxer, but it could be detrimental to him as far as his career is concerned. And what I mean by that is because we're used to seeing him being the destructive puncher that he is, we're prone to that. We're prone to that. Nobody is about to sit there and watch Edgar Berlanga put on a boxing clinic unless he can get to the point where he can find that middle ground and mix up his attack. So, I mean, he missed out on a lot. Tim Bradley said it a lot. He missed out on a lot of countering opportunities where not even with with Angulo just missing, it was him lunging in with his chin past his knee. He was there for the uppercut. He was there for it. You just had to launch it. He was there for the straight down, right down the middle. If you would have just said, yo, all right, cool, I'm about to walk him into this shot. He was there for that. He was there for that in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? Angulo was lethargic on his feet, sluggish on his feet. He would open up real wide. Edgar Berlanga would get up under the shots. And there would be no punishment for making them miss and making them pay. There would be no punishment for that. All right, we're not about to sit here. There would be no punishment for that. He missed out on a lot of key opportunities, but I can also say that I think that he's really trying to bring this game plan of getting these fundamentals down. He's really trying to put that into who it is that he is. He's trying to cultivate that skill set. So I can see that. Like, nah, man, I don't want to get back. I don't want to revert back into just being being just known as a puncher. I want to stay disciplined. I want to show that I can fight a disciplined fight and stay the course. So I understand it from that paradigm, man. But what we saw last night was just not. He got hit a lot. Nose face blemish, nose busted. He got hit a lot. And I'm not even sure that he won that fight. Because Angulo applied a lot of the pressure. Angulo landed the big shots. It's just Berlanga landed clean. He landed the cleaner punches. He landed the more head snapping punches. But it was so far in between. And that's alarming, man. That's really alarming. It's really alarming. I don't know if he's a dude who can afford to be that outboxer if he can't learn how to mix up his attack. I don't. He didn't even really throw combinations. You know, like he was a dude who was. He'd throw combinations. You know, it wasn't as prolific as like as a goddamn Brian Castano. He wasn't throwing punches and bunches like that, but he would let his hands go when he was time. All right, cool. These are dudes that you're supposed to get rid of, dog. And he was there to be gotten rid of. David Benavidez introduced this man to destruction. Destruction. Do you think you can stand in front of a David Benavidez right now? You're supposed to get rid of Angulo. You're supposed to get rid of him. He's not supposed to have a competitive bout with you at 37, 38 years old, who's making a lot of mistakes and showing signs of wear and tear that you're supposed to be able to capitalize on with your youth and with your boxing acumen and your skill set that you're supposed to have. You're supposed to punish him for lunging in. You're supposed to punish him for his hands getting into place before his feet get there. You're supposed to punish him for his chin being past his kneecap. He didn't offer the amount of resist. If you would have stayed your ground and countered him effectively, that would have thwarted a lot of his aggression. You'd have sat there, planted your feet, and ripped a few. Like, I made a status on Facebook. I'm like, all right, he looks like he actually has a game plan right now. Because I'm thinking, you know, you're gonna spend the first couple of rounds giving him different looks to show that I'm not. Nah, you're gonna have to come and find me. And then eventually start to open up and capitalize off of the lateral movement that he was using. He didn't do any of that. He didn't do any of that. I don't want to give up on him just yet and just say, nah, he's not. Because honestly, I did see an upgrade in him with just his ability to move and his defense. Even though he was still getting clipped, his defense looked a lot better than it has before. With him, you know, he always was a dude who want to use that slickster Philly shell shit, and it just isn't beneficial towards him. He kept his hands up. His feet looked a hell of a lot better. If he was able to implement who it is, his fighting identity, if he was able to mix that into what it is that he was trying to do last night could have been a completely different showing. People could have been walking up out of there saying, yo, I'm seeing improvement from Edgar Berlanga. But he didn't. And I'm going to maybe this is just something that's going to take a few fights to come into fruition before we really start to see, all right, yeah, now we're starting to see. Now he's using them fundamentals. Now he's developing IQ. But in the now, bro, that just was not a good outing. Not a good outing, and I'm not so sure that you won. I'ma just come out and say it. I don't think you won that fight. And to show how frustrated you was, you bit him. What the fuck are you doing? You bit this dude. You bit this nigga. You bit him. Homie. Fuck no. Hell no. 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 That ain't it. That ain't it at all. If an Angulo can get you frustrated like that to the point where you coming out of character, you don't need to be going anywhere near the top dogs up there. And you was really barking on Canelo just a fight or two. Oh my God. No. Getting dropped by Coceres. Billy Joe Saunders got stopped by Coceres. Coceres got stopped by Billy Joe Saunders. He had you looking vulnerable, bro. This dude got stopped by Billy Joe Saunders is not known as a puncher. You're the puncher and you couldn't get rid of this dude. And you got put on your pockets by him. You're regressing. But it doesn't have to be at an accelerated rate. You can regress for that one particular fight and then begin to show improvement. in your next fights. And I'm hoping that's what you do. Because I did see an upgrade in your game. It was just a downgrade of the performance. So that's just my personal 2 cents on it, man. I'm not gonna throw you to the wolves. There's plenty of people saying, yo, they just gonna need to go ahead and feed you to Sims and what's my man name, David Morrell, and just going ahead and get you about the paint. I'm not gonna do that just yet. But you do gotta you gotta show signs of you knowing how to mix it up. You got to, especially if you're gonna be calling out Canelo and demanding big fights. That's just how I feel about it, man. I'm out. Deuces.